It's a beautiful thing, man. Y'all,
It
welcome,
is.
welcome, welcome, man, to another edition of the Elite Mancast, man. Every Wednesday at 8:30, y'all know to tune in to the YouTube page, like, subscribe, and share over there. Man, yeah. There we go. There we go.
So
Y'all know we got the panel, man. We got Captain Hook and
what
we
up?
got Mr. Michael. We talking about this adolescent adults, y'all. You know, we got these grown people that don't want to grow up, man. You got some grown people that steady just do not want to take accountability for their own actions. They don't want to be responsible for anything that they're doing or saying out their mouth. And they really hate to be responsible for anything that's coming out their mouth and with the things they're doing. So, hey, man, we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to dive in and get it started. Mr. Michael, what you got for us tonight on this topic?
Well, what's up, everybody? Well, it's a great topic, and we're talking about the Peter Pan syndrome, and it refers to a psychological phenomenon. And this is where an adult, which is usually a male, is resisting growing up, taking on adult responsibilities. And this term was first used back in what was 1983 by a psychiatrist, Dr. Dan Kiley. He wrote the book, The Peter Pan Syndrome: Men Who Have Never Grown Up. So
Mm,
I guess he's the one who brought this topic to light. But it's this topic hasn't been, or the Peter Pan syndrome has not been recognized as an actual mental disorder. And I was taking and saying the DSM-5, which is let me see, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the fifth edition. They haven't posted this as a disorder, and this manual is revised every few years to keep updated on what's going on with mental health, like any changes, any new research or diagnostic techniques, anything that comes about. But we're going to jump in and talk about what this syndrome is. So,
yeah.
what you got, Captain Hook?
Mhm.
How y'all doing? So what I got to say about the whole subject is pretty much everything that you just said, but just more elaborate. No, it hasn't been diagnosed, but we also we've been aware of the symptoms. When it comes to the maturity of the mind, the maturity of relationships. Guys who just don't want to step up, period, like in the house, or they still sucking on their mama titty because they feel like, oh well, the world still owes me. So it's kind of just like the cartoon with Captain Hook, and then to go along with that, they also have the Wendy syndrome, and those are the women who deal with those guys, and they
Right.
end up putting the guy before they put the kids, because if you're familiar with like the whole animated series about it, Wendy didn't care about anybody but Peter Pan. Like anything that Peter
Mhm.
said goes, because she was addicted to the Peter. So yeah, like the whole thing. What you got, sir?
Yep.
Yeah. Addicted to the Peter. On the Peter Pan, man, I tell you. But say, man, this is definitely things that happen in this day so much more now because there's less men in the household. There's less men. Well, we coming back around to that, fellas. Well, I feel like more men are being in the household, and they're starting to shine more too because we as men we realized what was going on, and when women starting to realize that, hey, man, we can't allow ourselves to be bossed by the system because these women were at one point allowing the system to control whatever was going on in the household, and we know that.
Right.
So I see a lot of things on TikTok. I see a lot of things on Facebook and Instagram where men are stepping up. I see a group of men in Dallas. They're stepping up. They're going to schools now, finding the bullies in the schools, stopping the
Oh, yeah.
bullies. Yeah, man, and it's been going. It's and like I like them guys in Detroit too. They're stopping street gangs. There's no street gangs in Detroit. They got the guys who out here really doing the footwork, and and bringing that masculine man back to the forefront because of that. You know, we need that, and that's definitely a plus in our end. But they won't showcase that because it's showing that it's a masculine man.
Oh yeah.
Anything that the system sees as a positive in the favor of the black man, they would definitely not expose it. But if they're
Hmm.
showing us robbing, stealing, and killing, they would definitely expose that 3 times a day on the news, and then they'll run that all week. But we have to realize, man, this Peter Pan syndrome, man, is really it's just something that's systematic that can be corrected if wanting to, if the household wants to, you know, because we got to we as men got to say what goes and what not goes, man, what's not gonna go, you know.
Yeah.
And these women really have to start listening because their way didn't work. You know,
Right.
it was, oh, I'm the independent woman. I don't need no, I'm fuck nigga free and all of this old foolery, you know. And like Cardi B was saying that one time, she don't cook and she don't clean, but now look at her cooking and cleaning and doing everything else in between, you know. So
Yeah.
we, yeah, we getting back to the man of the that's running the household again. You know, it just everything takes time, but we had enough of this Peter Pan man because this system here is done controlled us enough,
Right.
and we gotta, you know, statistics show we got to really, hey, take back the rings and start back whipping somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
Lay those hands.
But I mean,
Yeah, man.
also with Peter Pan syndrome or PPS, you know, it's also a condition where adults act much younger. You know, this is the Urban Dictionary, of course, where they act much younger than the people in their age group. So it could go
Hmm.
from being temporary to, like, you know, long lasting. I mean, you have 60-year-olds trying to act like they're in their 20s, or you
Hmm.
know, different things.
Man.
I mean, yeah, they say you're only as old as you feel, but you know that mindset still has to be there.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And it seems a big part of it is with the Peter Pan syndrome is that a lot of guys they lack or they fear taking responsibility. They're scared to make a
Hmm.
decision. And while I was doing the research, I found like when it comes to causes of the Peter Pan syndrome, a lot of it is these women who are raising these men, or so-called men, but they're babying the men. Now, the
Hmm.
definition didn't say that in my research, but that's what it boils down to. You're protecting the kid to the point that he has no responsibilities.
Hmm.
So if a man doesn't have any responsibilities, then he becomes a dependent.
Yeah.
So how can you become a man when your mother's doing everything for you? She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's basically wiping your ass up until you in your 20s. It just
Mm.
doesn't work. And they always finding out they falling back. They don't want to take responsibility. They lack financial independence. They're dependent on other people to basically rule their life. But you
Yeah.
know the guys is always they ain't never got no money, but they always want to hang. They always needing something. They can't make a decision. That's the
Hmm.
Peter Pan syndrome in full effect. So,
In full
or
effect.
they just want to, yeah, they want to sit around playing games all day. What it is they're trying to, they're using distractions to keep from facing responsibility.
Right.
Sometimes it's out of fear, and
They
sometimes
really,
they just don't know how.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. They really weary. They really wearying. You know, they fearful of having the responsibility because they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to
Hmm.
say, oh, you know, because a lot of these guys they look for their friends for validation. They looking from for outside sources for validation so that they can say, "Oh, you see, I did that right." You know, because it's a lot of moms that will diminish. It's a lot of dads also that will diminish their children and put the kids down. And you ain't never gonna do nothing right. You ain't never. And
Hmm.
it's like now that's in your head. Now my subconscious is stuck with that until I become aware and I pull it out, you know, and say, hey, this is not what I want to do anymore. But other than that,
Right.
that's what happens in this system, man, that we live in. That Mothers will downgrade the boy and then coddle him and baby him at the same time. It's
Right.
like either you're gonna discipline him or you're not. Whatever you're gonna do, make sure you do it fully and wholeheartedly, and stand
Yeah.
on what you're speaking about. Because you have a lot of them that'll say, "Oh, nigga, you ain't gonna be shit. You just like your daddy, and this and that and that and that," and then turn right back around and say, "I'm gonna go buy you this game, but you don't do this." It's like, well, how do I grow up from that?
Right.
Because now I'm
You don't.
confused. I ain't nothing, but you finna buy me the game just to shut my mouth up. You know, how do I
Right.
differentiate the two?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't
Yeah.
know how to grow up. I don't know how to grow up as a man. That's what them boys are saying to their mama. I mean, saying to society because they don't know
Mhm.
who to follow. If my daddy ain't nothing and my mama talking down on me like I'm nothing, why would I want to go be something when you steady telling me I'm nothing?
Yeah.
And then you
Well,
allowing me to hang out in a society where it's cool to sell drugs as long as you bring me the money home. It's cool to
mhm.
carry this gun because you protecting the household, little boy. But you really not a boy. I mean, you really not a man by doing that. You still a little boy.
Yeah.
Right.
And mama's condoning the little boy. And if more of these men would step up and say, "Hey, brother, hey, no, look out, mama, that ain't what we doing. Keep your daddy up out of our business. Don't nothing whatever he saying, whatever we do in this house, you don't tell your daddy none of that." And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
right there, that's where the separation is showed by the mother, or because dad don't know what's happening. Now he's
Right.
confused because the son ain't telling him nothing. Hey man, what's happening with you? Nothing. I'm doing all right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, what's going on at school? What you know? Oh, everything fine. These short answers mean that he's being coached somewhere down the line incorrectly.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's keeping him with that adult adolescence mindset. Like, shit, I ain't finna say nothing. I
Yep.
ain't gonna talk to my daddy about nothing.
Scared of the consequences of mama, and that's sad.
And
That's real sad.
yeah,
And
because
that is,
they confused. They don't
yeah.
know how to
And,
problem solve because they're confused.
yeah. And that is another one of the causes is lack of role models. And
Mhm.
this doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily have to be a man as a role model, but it's better when the role model is a man, but it's got to be a productive man because you got
right,
grown men out there, and their idea of being a role model is teaching you the wrong stuff because they're immature
right.
themselves. But
Yeah,
so you're in a household, you got your mother and your father, and they both looking out for your well-being. Well, they're teaching you to be responsible because you're going to have to get up and take out the trash without being told. You're going to have to go mow the
but
lawn if you got one. You got to do
Mike,
things, and
I don't mean to cut your
go ahead.
wisdom, Mike, but even in a two parent household, you still have some fathers
Yeah.
who will not give their son the man code. Hey man, don't listen to your
Hmm.
little friends out there. You're a man, you stand on your own 2 feet. You are in control of your life. Don't you let your friend see you got some men in the household.
Absolutely.
Boy, go on outside, do what you gotta do whatever. You got some men in the household, man. So it's
Right.
not really about a two-parent household. It's about who's giving them the education of solitude. Say, man, you solid. You got to stand on business, bro. You got to be a man. When you go out that door, don't be out here following these little dudes, man, because they don't know where they going.
Hmm.
We heard
Yeah.
it back in
Well.
86 and 80. We heard it back in 87, 88. Willie D said, you can't let the blind leading the blind. You got these cats who don't know nothing,
Right.
but they grown adults. And they'll sit up
But
here and allow their kids to be involved in things just because they don't know how to raise them.
yeah, but that's pretty much what I was saying, or the point I was getting to. Because even in a
Okay, yeah,
two-parent household, both parents have to be on the same page. Because if the father
yeah,
is if he's just a lackey, if he's that same immature dude that's scared to take responsibility, it's like My uncle, he's dead, rest his soul. He's been dead for quite a while. My aunt basically ran the house. He was a
Mm-hmm.
picture of being an alpha male, except with his wife. Because when he wanted to discipline his sons, don't you hit them boys, and he wouldn't do it. He would not do the thing that he needed to do at that time. And both of his sons went in the wrong direction. So, I mean, you got to have the right kind of role models. You got to have
Yeah.
men that are standing on manhood, and then you got to have a mother that's willing to let the man teach the boys his way. Don't be getting in the way talking about, oh, don't do this to my son. Oh, you can't do this. He ain't going to do that. No. If the father says
Mm-hmm.
this is the way it's got to be, especially with his
Right.
sons, then that's the way it's
Right.
got to be.
Right.
Yeah.
You
That's the
can't,
way it's got
because
to
you
be,
just
man.
undermining his responsibilities. So now you doing that, and your son turns up to become exactly the type of man that no woman wants.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of one of the posts that I made last week. And it was to the ladies. I said, "Heal the boy within, and the man you want will appear."
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
That's real. And a lot of times we have to realize, man, the reason they don't grow up is because they got wars in their head.
Mm.
Yeah.
That war be in their mind about which side to take, which way to go. I don't know what to do. And ain't nobody giving them clarification. So they can't even clear the clutter that's in their mind. They don't know how to clear the clutter because nobody's teaching them how to clear this, how to empty your mind and fill your mind back up with these type of thoughts. Because we in a society of everybody's on go. We got we got to go do this. We got to go do that. We got to go do it. Ain't nobody sitting down and saying, "Hey man, turn all the TVs off, no more radios. We're gonna sit down and have a conversation."
Mm.
It just ain't happening.
Hmm.
And it kind of
You know?
I'm not gonna say it burdens me, but it bothers me. Like when I hire somebody, and pretty much like young black men, and even some of the older ones, and they don't even know how to fill out their W-2,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's sad. But I'm like, how many
Yeah.
jobs they had? Like they had like 10, 15 jobs or whatever, but their mom or their girlfriend, whoever the woman is in their life, they always
Filled
did.
it out.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's a lot of things, man. That's a lot. That's a lot to really, but we don't set boundaries anymore, man.
Right.
We don't have standards anymore. It's like once you realize that standards and values and morals really account for something, principle that really accounts, integrity, it really
Hmm.
accounts for something. I feel like, a lot of people don't really know these words, man. And if they do know them, they just say them
They
just
don't
because
know the
it's a
meaning.
cliche saying. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, everybody got to have integrity, but you don't even practice it.
Right.
But everybody got to have it.
Hmm.
You don't even practice principles. Oh, I do got principles. I got values. I got morals. But what kind of value do you bring to your child?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They
What are you giving them
What are you
that that
teaching
they,
them?
that they can take 10 years from now and say, damn, man, yeah, I was taught that. You know?
Mhm.
It's
So
true.
no,
That's,
yes.
that's the number one thing, man.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
asking a young man, like, you got integrity? Ah, man, no. What strand of weed is that? Like, no, it's not. It's integrity. But
What strand of weed?
yeah,
Now, they can tell you what strands of weed it is.
yeah,
Oh, this right here, this don't make you sleepy. This make you think. This kind right here, man, this can put you to sleep. This will keep you up. And I be like, bro, it ain't even that serious, man. You
Right.
need to be learning something else, man. If you're not finna open up a dispensary, you need to be learning something else.
yeah.
Just for recreational smoke,
Right.
that don't even matter.
No. Yeah. It's
But
a
we
lot of
caught up
times
in
that
it, man.
fear. It's a big fear. It's like the kids they're raising themselves to a large extent, or their own social media. Well, basically, that's one of the things, the distractions to keep from taking responsibility for anything,
Mm-hmm.
because you're spending
Mhm.
all your time watching somebody else's life, but when it comes time to make a decision about yours, you're lost. You don't know what to
Yeah,
do. You wait for somebody to tell you what to do instead of you
yeah.
just making a decision and doing it. And then a lot of people, a lot of them now, it's like they take forever to decide to do something, or they do it, but they never get started. Like, I'm gonna do this. I done heard so many of my nephews, I'm gonna do this, Uncle Mike. I'm gonna go do that, and they still right where they were when they told me they were gonna do it.
Oh
Ain't
yeah.
making no kind of progress.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Ain't nobody came right behind them and said, "Hey, man, are you doing that?"
Hmm.
That's the thing
That's
about
true.
adulting. We have to realize as adults, man, children do not know to go ahead and unless you've been raising your child from the beginning to do that, to go ahead and stand on what they're finna. If you tell them to do something, and if you ain't going right back behind them and say, "Hey, did you do what I asked you to do?" They not gonna do it
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
because there's no one discipline, no one giving them that structure to say, "Hey, let me backdoor this and let me go right back right behind him. I told him 15 minutes ago. Let me go back here and check the work. Let me go back and check." Parents nowadays, they so busy, man. Hey, boy, did you do what I asked you to do? It's 5 hours later. No, I'm finna do it right now. And if you're not standing there, he's not gonna do it right now, or she's not gonna do it right now. So
Yep.
as little boys, we need to raise them to where you gotta go right back, right behind them 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later. As soon as you walk out the door, if you ask them to do something, you go put your purse down and go put your bags down or whatever and go right back in there and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because if you don't, you're raising a Peter Pan. You're raising a little boy who is never going to grow up, who's never going to do what you say do because he's going to feel like you're not talking, you're not standing on what you said. You ain't standing on
Hmm.
the business. You asked me to do something, but you ain't come back here and check on me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have
Right.
to really stand on our, even men. Men do that. They'll act like, "Oh, that boy heard what I said." No, as a man, you got to go back and check on that boy and say, "Hey, boy, what you doing? Get your ass up and get back in what I asked you to do right now." That means he's
Yeah.
supposed to drop the controller, he's supposed to drop the pencil, he's supposed to drop everything and go do what you said do. Or it's got to be some consequences because now we so caught up in, "Oh, I ain't finna hit my child." You don't need to whoop him, you just need to thump him on his head. I remember I used to get thumped. I ain't have to get no
Hmm.
whooping. That big old thump, I'd be like, "Oh, man,
Yep.
come on now. I'm finna go right
Especially when
now."
it's unexpected.
You hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So
Yep.
you don't have to beat your child. You just got to give them something that's going to make them think. Keep a ruling. My mom used to keep that rule in her hand. What? All right, I'm getting off the
Yeah.
game right now, mama. Put it down. Let me get up off this damn game. Yeah, because if you don't come right behind them, they're gonna grow up thinking that I can be an adult and still, man. I know this dude, man. I ain't even put him out on blast, but I know this dude. He still stay with his mom. He's 40, 50 years old. Still stay with his mama. Been living with his mama. Ain't never left his mama, and she
Wow.
still fixing boys' plate. Still fixing
Wow.
food. I say, come on, bro. You got to be. I don't even talk to him no more because of that. But it's just the fact of we have too many men out here still living under mama's roof. Man, my mama told me you got to come in at a certain time and you can't stay here. I said, well, shit, I'm
Right.
finna go because I know I ain't finna come in at no certain time. I was 19, went to a whole nother state. She went to talk about, well, why you move out the state? I said, well, shit, you told me to get out. I didn't tell you to get out. I told you to come in at a decent now where you gave me the ultimatum. The ultimatum
Yep.
means I get to make the choice. And the choice I made was to go be a man because, hey, man, you done taught me all you can teach me. So now I got
Right.
to go learn on my own. I can't be sitting at your house trying to explain, for you to try and explain to me. And the dude you got living with you, he ain't explaining to me nothing. He a sucker to me, I don't want to listen to that dude. He ain't talking about nothing. He ain't gave me no advice. He come home, smoke weed with his brother and them, and then he go in the room. So what we
Wow.
doing? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, bro, you got a lot of men in the household and they still not disciplining these dudes. And then you got these women who get these dudes, and then they won't allow the dude to say nothing to the boy.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you got the nuts to lay up with this dude, have the nuts to let that dude say what he need to say to your son. Because your
Yep.
son gonna feel like it's cool for him to keep doing what he doing. Oh man, I can play the game. My mama, she late. She caked up with that nigga. I ain't worried about her. Man, they told me to take the trash out 20 times. I think I ain't taking that no trash. Because you ain't allowing that man in the house that you sleeping with in the house to be the man of the house.
Right.
And that's how you raise this Peter Pan. That's how your son is becoming with this Peter Pan syndrome. That's how your son is an adult adolescent.
Yeah.
Because you allowing this nigga to sleep in your house, eat the food, you fix his plate before you fix the kid's plate, and you still ain't letting him say what he need to say. Make that make sense, man. Nah, I take care of my
You don't.
son. You ain't got to say nothing to my son. Huh? I
Mhm.
would, I ain't never been
So
that kind of cat. Hey, man, I don't need to be here. I don't even need to be
exactly.
here, man. If I ain't got nothing, if my voice don't outweigh your voice in this house, I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong house.
And that's how it goes with role models too, because what your children are seeing every day, the interaction between the two adults, that's what they learning. So if the woman ain't gonna let the man be a man, the kid look like, well, I ain't gotta worry about being a man neither. I just let the
That right
woman
there.
do everything. So they move right out of the house from their mother and we into another woman's house who's actually gonna be their mother.
Right.
They never take responsibility and become men. You'll never grow up if you don't have to do anything. If
Yeah.
you ain't got to make a decision, you ain't got to go to work. I don't understand how there's so many men that live off of women. I mean, they always
Well,
singing
it's
about it or
easy.
talking about it. You
It's
buying it,
easy.
you using her car, you doing this, and the women allowing
Yeah,
it. But they're
it's
like, oh,
easy.
this is my man, this is my king. No, that's your
You
son.
know why? You know why? Because
What?
that damn Peter.
They,
What Doc
yeah,
what Captain Nook
yep,
said?
And
that's
addicted to
true.
the
Peter,
Chasing the
man.
Peter,
It's the Peter.
you desperate for it.
Peter,
Yeah, she stuck on
hey,
Peter. Yeah,
put the
Peter
name
That's
Pan
too
is
much
Peter Pan
desperation
because he
right
got the
there.
Peter.
You hear me?
Yeah,
Like we break stuff down. Just listen to the name Peter Piper. Peter
Peter
Piper.
Piper.
hmm yep,
But I mean, that's how they all become like, oh, I was about to say Wendy Williams. Oh, Wendy, because I mean,
oh
Peter
wow,
went to Wendy's window and, convinced all of them to go to the island where nobody ever got to grow up. But she ultimately became like a mother to the Lost Boys.
yeah,
Right.
So all those
Right.
boys was like, okay, cool. Like, but
Nah,
it's
man.
people think these are just fairy tales. Like, no, it's real life. Like all this stuff is based off reality.
yeah,
Reality. Yeah.
that's it.
But see, Peter Pan loved him some Tinkerbell.
Yeah,
That was his. That was his
that was a little
fantasy
side piece.
poem. He was really fucking Tinkerbell in his mind every day. Boy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tinkerbell.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was his porn channel. That was his porn.
Yeah.
But that's why I say, man, we gotta realize, man, when you see your son needing validation, if you see your son needing um, friends in order for him to achieve anything. You need somebody else in order for you to achieve something. It means I need to stop and be like, hey, check this out, man. We gotta teach you some more values. We gotta teach you a better value system. SOP, standard of operations. You know what I'm saying? We have to bring standard of operations into the household of a man to where he can have his framework and he has a list of things under his framework that's going to make him more valuable to society. He has to be more
yeah,
valuable in the household first. Just like they say, everything starts in your backyard. So
Mhm.
once he becomes valuable in the house, once he leave the house, it's like my mama, she taught me, hey, go cut the yard. Man, I used to be Shit, Saturday morning, she cleaning up. Mom, you ready for me to cut the yard? All right. I'm cutting the yard, edging the yard, watering the grass. You know, I'm outside, you know, showing her that, hey, you ain't got to do it. And this dude, he at work. So, you know, I'm going to take care of him. You know, wash the car down. Hey, that was before I even had a license. I couldn't even drive the car. I'm washing the car down, cleaning them. But I seen all my older friends doing the same thing because I hung out with older dudes and they washing their car down on a Saturday, you know. So I'm in the driveway washing the car down. I'm thinking that's what I'm supposed to do as a man, which I would. You know what I'm saying? Trash taken out. You got to make sure the dishes are clean. Go wash your clothes. Put the clothes in. You separate the clothes. You do this type of stuff for the young cats so they can grow up not dependent on Wendy to do with anything that, you know what I'm saying? I don't need you, Wendy.
Right.
If you come in this house, you got to bring the value to this house because I'm showing value in my house. But I need the queen to be in this capsule to create a mindset of, and I feel like when we saying be his peace, I feel like when we say that, I look at it like this here. If that woman is bringing in value as far as a mindset, she's not bringing in an argumentative mindset. She's bringing in a value mindset on for as teaching him just as well as he's teaching her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how a couple grows. That's how any relationship, man and man, woman and woman, whatever the case may be, friends, however. Mother, daughter, mother, son, whatever. That's how you grow. When I can teach you as an adult, I can still teach you something, mama. Or as your mother, always teach your son something that he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna if you got the man living in the house and he can't teach your son nothing, he shouldn't be in the house.
Yeah. Like, what good is he?
Now, if you got a man living
He's
in the
no
house and he
good.
can't teach your son nothing, you have another son.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it. You got another son.
You got another son. Yo, son.
Yeah.
Yo, son, look out, B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
You
I
got
was
two
watching the
boys in the
show.
house.
You
Huh?
can't stand for your son, but play video games with him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Hours at a time. Ain't saying
You
nothing,
know,
just play the game.
yeah,
I can't say it's a bad thing, but it's not going to be no everyday thing.
right. I mean, you can
Right.
bond over playing video games, but you know, when it
Yep.
comes time, okay, you're it's almost time to go to college. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, let's play Madden real quick. Like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
you can't give me, or you can't give that woman's son like any type of educational value, like no knowledge to
Right.
grow on, like nothing to take to school with them. Besides, hey, make sure you bring condoms. Like, come on, dog.
Well, at least if he tell him to
Yeah.
bring condoms, he tell him the right thing.
Yeah, he is.
Hey,
Yeah.
But the Bible says
yeah, good.
will and multiply.
Gotta true. True that.
Yeah, I ain't
Just
gonna
be
even lie. I
careful
was
with who.
multiplied. My
Hey,
first one came out at 20, boy. I was gone from then. After that first one, I had two more.
I'm saying,
Oh yeah, let me get some more after that. Let me
I had
drop
my
some
first.
more.
I had my first when I was in college, but
Yeah,
Wow.
that
man.
didn't stop me from graduating. That didn't stop me
Nah,
from getting a business. Anything else like
yeah.
that? Okay, cool.
I
But
think
now
I
we
was
gotta
fortunate.
realize that if we're gonna be fellas, if you're gonna be in the household of a woman that's not, you know, and then that it takes. I'm gonna say this too, man, because I wanna do give give the fellas flowers who do say I'm gonna take the responsibility on of raising another man's child.
Right.
That's a real thing. That's a big thing. That's a big step, man.
Yeah,
You gotta have some real big balls to say, hey man, you know what? I know you know your daddy, he might be in your life, he might not, whatever the case is, but I'm not being your daddy. I'm just being your I'm gonna be a confidant in this household while I'm here. And while I'm here, you're gonna listen to what I'm saying. It's not about what your mama think or nothing, but as a man. And see, that's how you go to if you got a teenage son or if you got a son, you know, and you got, you know, you moving into a household with somebody who got a big teenage son, and you let them know, hey man, I ain't trying to be your daddy partner. But what I am gonna do is give you these words so we don't have no confrontation. Because you're
Right.
not gonna disrespect your mama, because that's my chick. Anything that's mine, I protect it for real, partner. Yeah, I'll
Mm-hmm.
whoop you. I'll beat you up real in real life behind mine. Because I can't put a belt on you, you're grown. You think you're grown in your mind. So don't disrespect my lady. And me and you straight. And when I
Yeah.
give you something to do, you go ahead and do it. So we ain't gotta ever have no problem. You can't whoop me because I'm still on my business. I'm out here working out, I'm out here jogging. So I'm ready for you. All of that mindset. And my pistol bigger than yours. So whatever you thinking,
Yep.
give them all that kind of game, fellas. I don't know, whatever you
Yeah.
feel like you need to tell
Right
them,
off the bat.
just so you don't have no grown little boy in your house telling you what to do or telling you what he ain't gonna do,
Yeah.
Right.
and then run to his mama so she can confirm what he ain't gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you in the wrong house. If you allowing that woman to tell you what you can't do to her son, you in the wrong house, man.
Right. It's
That's
time to
for
move
real.
out.
Time to move, man. Time to get your own place. Or if she's that's another thing. That's another thing. Get your own place before she can even come
Real.
over here. You moving
That's
in
it.
with her. That's the reason that all of this Peter Pan syndrome going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't say I'm the king of the castle and you don't even have a castle.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean
You ain't the king.
that was something
You
that I
ain't
had.
the king. You ain't the king around here.
Right. I mean, because like even when I was single and I was dating women that had adult kids, it's like okay, like everything started off cool until they started to
Yeah.
smell it. It's like I could take your girlfriend from you, but I was on some other stuff like yeah. So
I had one altercation, not even altercation, but one young cat he was talking about, it's when I was growing up, in the hood. He told me what he ain't gonna do, but at the same time, I did move in, temporarily. I had my own spot, but I used to be at his mama house all the time. And he went to wow, oh that wow. I said I'm gonna go. I said I tried to talk to your mama. Your mama she act like she can't hear me real good, so I'm gonna go to your dad. They say, look, let me talk to you right quick, bro. Your son over here being disrespectful. Before I get on his ass real tough, I'm gonna holler at the man first. When the daddy say, man, shit, do what you gotta do. Oh, went right up in his
That's
face.
it.
Nigga, let me explain
green
something
light.
to you. Wow. Yeah, you say anything, chick, I'm gonna
Yeah.
smash you too. Yeah, this one I was out very physical. I was very violent. I was very physical. I wanted to touch everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. But
I know those
got that
days.
squared away real quick. So he understood, and then when he go, I'm gonna go get my daddy. Go get your daddy so me and him can laugh at this. You know what I'm saying? He seen his daddy where he say your daddy say, hey man, you gotta do what that man say. You in that man house, man. That man paying bills there. That man doing it. Man, y'all tripping. Okay. We gonna have this problem again? Nah, we straight. All right. We going back to
That's
business
it.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah, go back to
That's it.
school, do what you gotta do. I'm gonna be right here doing what I gotta do. And so that's what we gotta do, man. If the mama ain't gonna do nothing, go to the dad and let him know so that, from a man to a man, it's gonna be understood. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't gotta go into because it's like I realized something, man, and growing up in a society of, bullies, we was type of dudes say, bro, touch mine again, man, without my permission, then it's gonna be a problem.
Mhm.
But then we
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize that growing up in the 60s, it was, oh, I appreciate you for touching mine because I wasn't there to get him right then. You know what I'm saying? You should
Right.
be appreciative of another man disciplining your child. If he's not abusing him,
Right.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's a difference between abuse and discipline. If you're gonna discipline him, hey man, let's do it in a way that's conducive to his growth, not that's gonna hinder his
Right.
growth. But yeah, hey
Not
man, that's not
tearing him
gonna
down.
traumatize him. Right. We don't
Right.
want to tear him down.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man.
bro, it's
And that's a whole different maturity right there. Like dating a woman that have other kids.
Mm.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
That's
dated a
why I say, man, I applaud any man
Mhm.
who's being a stepdad and who's really on that business about being a stepdad. You know, taking care of their own children plus the woman's children that they're involved with. You know, that's big, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You know,
is.
now if they in their 30s and
It
40s, you
is.
know, it's like, hey man, you know, we can hang out, but if you got teenagers, that's a different story. You know, teenagers, you got to be like, say, man, you got to be a real strong-minded man to deal with another man's teenager if he's not disciplined.
Yeah.
If that
Right.
teenager is not disciplined, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of teenagers
That's
out here
true.
nowadays that's disciplined. That's not saying too much. You know, they not talking back. They staying out the way because they know, you know, mama gonna be mad about you messing up her regular meat market. You know, the
Right.
meat man coming through, Peter Pan coming through the big Peter Pan,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
putting some jiffy.
look,
Yeah, he putting
Right.
some jiffy, some real stick 'em down.
yes, sir. Nah, one
Hey.
like woman I dated, she had two kids. Like they were teenagers. I mean, one of them graduated from college in Atlanta. The other one, he's in college now. But it's like I was with her like when it was kids, and it's like
Right.
not on, and it's like they send me a friend request on Facebook. Hey Prince, how because that was my nickname, Prince. It's like, hey Prince, how you doing? It's like they still respect me from like because
Yeah.
we together. I'm like, that's cool. But I mean, then another
Yeah.
chick dated, and she had three kids by three different guys. I'm like, I can't. I tell about because first off, I mean,
You got three different
play
problems.
video games. I don't like to finish somebody else's game. Like I like to hit reset, start my own game. Oh, we gotta have, like you said, we gotta have limits and boundaries.
Yeah.
Yep. For real.
Man, three of them?
Last week I was listening to this show and they were talking about relationships and one of the brothers was talking about having this peace. And for some reason the woman could not understand what it meant when he said he wanted to have his peace. And I realized that when you in another woman's house and you going through this Peter Pan syndrome, you ain't ever gonna have no peace because
Mhm.
you can't expect the woman. The woman's always going to come at you. Well, you find a job today. What you do today, and that's going to feel like an attack on your manhood
Mhm.
because you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. So you can't even
Yeah.
have a relationship. Not definitely not a healthy relationship because you always feel like you're
Mhm.
being attacked by your woman.
Yeah.
But
Right.
and it actually makes sense because if you the man, you taking care of your business, you got your job, you taking care of your bills, you doing everything you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't make sense for you to come home and the woman to start nagging you about something when you done had to deal with the world all day. Cause you got all kind of shit to deal with outside of the household, but then to come home and have to deal with unnecessary BS on top of it. But
Yeah.
if you if you are that Peter Pan type dude, you ain't got no choice. Cause basically you still just another son.
Yeah.
So she can nag you all she want. Ain't really nothing you can say except bye. I'm gonna go get my own place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
making a man move right there.
like, the woman doing all this stuff, and it's like, you mad because to me, it's all about respect. Because, I mean, I could get down on you in a respectful manner, or I could just break you all the way down till you want to move. But it's
Yeah.
like Keith said, like, before you sit up there and do or get involved with somebody like that, before you have a girlfriend, have your own place. You really want to
Right.
bring her back to your parents' house?
Mm-mm.
Like, how many people done got
Can't do
smashed?
it, man.
Like, come on, we gotta go.
And let me give you. I got 5 reasons. Um, I got 5 communications. Top 5 communications that as a man that you should be doing. You should always be an active listener. You never sweep it under the rug, ever. sweep anything under the rug. We have to have a communication level to where we can hash everything out, get it off your chest, allow that woman to fully talk, and you sit there and don't say nothing. Let her get all of that out. That goes back to active listening. But we ain't gonna sweep none of this under the rug. And then once she's finished, you say what you have to say, but don't be harsh on her. Don't be bad. Don't ever down her and whatever she was feeling at that moment. Because as men, we are logical thinkers. Women are emotional thinkers. So whatever she's speaking from the emotional part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do that. And this goes right, this all coincides together. So we're gonna have empathy and understanding as to what she's saying. Compassion over condemnation, meaning focus on expressing your emotions and needs rather than pointing out your wife's faults. You know what I'm saying? So we have the compassion over condemnation, and then apologizing and forgiving. If there's need to be any apologizing, be that man to say, hey man, and then that way, if you do mess with a woman who's raising children that's not yours, these are things that these are 5 qualities that she's gonna look in with you to where she's gonna feel like you can say whatever you want to my son because you give me that same type of respect. That's why I think a lot of men can't say nothing to these women kids because it's a bunch of say bitch, hoe, fuck, that. It's a bunch of cussing going on. And it ain't nobody got no moderate tone. Ain't nobody speaking on a calm level.
Right.
Yeah, if you having an altercation, if you having some problem with your woman, like, bro, you can't be yelling and screaming. She ain't gonna respect that. She can't listen. Because you more emotional than she is.
Yep.
And that's gonna show her that, hey man, this is a man that can raise my son. So I don't have to raise my son, alone. When a woman see that you got control and you are actively listening, you're not yelling, you're not screaming, you basically giving her the floor, but you have to be a life coach as a man. You have to be a therapist as a man. You have to be, because she's going to live in her emotions. She's going to live out of her emotions every day.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel. I feel. That's what she's going to say. I feel. It's never I think or I know. No, I feel like. And then when she do know something, she's going to know it so well to where she can basically verbatim that thing. She going to, and you ain't going to be able to get over on her with that one.
Right.
True.
You're going to think she got like one
a
of those
degree.
PI behind you. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nah, that's for real, man. But we got to really, man. We really have to teach our young men how to accept the responsibility of their actions. Never be afraid of a long time. We have to let them know that, man, you got to stand on everything you're saying. If you say you're going to do it, man, you go ahead and do it right now. Don't wait 15, 20 minutes later. If I ask you to do something, get right up and do it. It's not a debate. It's not me giving you an ultimatum of if I want you to do it or not. No, I'm telling you, this is what I want done. And then if I have to come back in here, it's going to be a problem, right? So go on and take care of that right now so we don't have to have no issues. All right, man. All right, dad. All right, whoever, stepdad or whatever they call you. You know what I'm saying? And those are the type of things that's going to raise a boy to a man instead of a boy to a grown boy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's all Peter Pan was. I mean, but don't get me wrong,
That's
Peter
what
Pan
it is.
has some positive traits about him. Adventurous, spiritual. Well, he had an adventurous spirit, bravery, imagination. He was loyal to his friends. He had a strong sense of playfulness and a carefree attitude and a willingness to protect those weaker than him. So those are also about Peter Pan.
Those
But
are good. Right.
Yeah.
Those are good characteristics to have. And, I came up with some ways to deal with if you got this Peter Pan syndrome. How do you
Yeah.
deal with it? How do you overcome this? And the
Okay.
first thing was to acknowledge the issue because you got to realize it's like the first step in solving a problem is realize that you got a problem. So
Yeah.
once you acknowledge the fact that you are immature, you're not living up to the things that you need to be doing, you correct it.
Mm-hmm.
Recognize and accept that that immaturity is what's holding you back. Or you set
Mm-hmm.
small achievable goals because one of the signs is not being able to manage your finances. You got to borrow money. But now you start setting a goal to manage your finance. So you learn how to manage
Mm-hmm.
your money. You learn how to have a set routine. You learn some discipline. Then you got to develop an emotional maturity. So that's working on how to handle criticism. Don't be
Yeah.
a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum at everything that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't go your way. There are some men out there
Mm-hmm.
like that. And to me, it is it's kind of comical to see a man that just fly off the handle about the least sort of thing. It makes no sense. It's like, why? What sense does it make? But they're out there.
Mhm.
They out there.
And then you got seek therapy because you get there's some ways like people suffering from childhood trauma that's holding them back from growing up. You seek
Yeah.
therapy to help you get over these things. You got building a
Mm-hmm.
growth mindset. That's that personal development that we're always talking about and that all of us are
Right.
actually going through. And
Right.
surrounding yourself with responsible people. Because if you got, how you say, if you got 4 friends that are rich, you'll be the fifth. But if you got 4 friends that are broke, you also going to be the fifth. So surround your people that are responsible. You surround yourself with people that have responsibility, that are being responsible, and you actually start to adopt their traits and become
Yeah.
responsible yourself. And like I said, take control of your finances. You have to do that. You have to learn how to save money. You have to learn how to grow your money. Be frugal, not just wasting it. You limit
When
escapism, and escapism is like when you're always. It's like playing video games all the time. Instead of taking care of your responsibilities, you're going to go play a video game. That's you're escaping reality to escape your responsibilities. You
yeah.
got to start
Yeah.
getting back into it, getting rid of those distractions, and do the things that need to be done right then. And then to
Yeah.
practice self-discipline. A self-discipline, well, you have to have self-discipline to stop doing those childish things and start becoming an
Mm.
adult. And it becomes it's just doing things one step at a time. So one step
Yeah.
at a time, you can change this immature attitude.
You forgot the last one though.
What's that?
Keep a Tinkerbell in your corner. It's got Tinkerbell. I don't even look at it as cheap because it's like, all right, so yeah, he had whatever, but Tinkerbell is kind of like if you married or you're in a relationship, and it's like you keep your Tinkerbell. It's not even cheating. It's like they're more like relationship helpers, because whatever
Mhm.
the girl won't do, Tinkerbell right there.
It's that motivational coach, right?
That's all it is.
Motivation,
Hey,
man.
Power to the people.
what in Pinocchio? That was Jiminy Cricket.
Hey, there it is. Just didn't look like Tinkerbell. Did
Yeah.
you watch
Yeah.
the movie? Tinkerbell had a thing. Like, okay, Peter,
Wow.
Out of control, bro. Out of control.
you got to learn how to hook.
Oh man. But that's definitely a problem, man. When we find these guys, but man, like I like what Mike was saying. But a disciplined man, a man who is a man, he will always try to put himself in environments that's about evolving. It's about growth. It's
Mhm.
about showing
Hmm?
That's like if you showing your son how to play football, you want him to start out with the basics, but then you want him to evolve in any situation. And I want you to be the Lawrence Taylor eventually, son. I want you to be that guy who come through that line and tear everything up that's moving. But you have to start out first with learning how to block, learning how to miss the block, you know what I'm saying? I feel like defense always wins the game, man. That's what I feel, because you have to pay attention to the offense in order to win on defense. You know,
Right.
you have to know what the attacker is doing.
Mhm.
If you don't know what that person who's attacking you is doing, you would never be able to defend yourself in life, in any facet of life, the proper way. You know. So man, these are some things we hope that I really hope that this conversation brought awareness to somebody's household, who brought awareness to somebody's environment, to where we got to start having these kind of conversations, because we have less men nowadays that, you know, like Fred Hampton, man, when he was 22 years old when he was the chairman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Malcolm X, man, he was about 25. Martin, these cats was young dudes, 28 when he was running this whole thing. Martin Luther King was 28. Right. But we got to realize, man, in our 20s, Horace, what his name is, Horace. I think one of the Warriors, I can't remember his name is. Man. But anyhow, he was like 22 years old. When we got that kind of, it's like they want to go to war right now at 15 and 16, but they don't know which war to go to, because we're not directing them to go to this type of war.
Right.
The Black Panther Party, these cats was young dudes walking around knowing. Huey P. Newton knew the laws of the land. He knew the laws of man. He knew the laws of the universe. He knew what he could and could not do. He never stepped over his boundaries. But when somebody stepped over their boundaries, he showed them, don't step over your boundaries.
Right.
You know, so we have to realize, man, we got too many young warriors out here who's ready to shoot. Let them shoot something that means something. Kill that thing right there.
Yeah.
Don't kill anything that look like this. Kill that over there. And that'll solve your issue. You know, that'll solve your problem. We ain't talking about regular white folk. We talking about congressmen and all of them. Get them old people out of that Congress, man, so we get these laws changed. Because we're going to keep going through the same systems. We keep listening to the same old white man who's been in the chair for 30 years.
Yeah.
You don't think his uncle and daddy was a Klansman? Come on, man.
Yeah. And I mean,
old white man with them big ass ears. No, it made the people need to get out of there now.
Yeah. I mean, because it's surprising how quick things can turn. Like, okay, we already know that Donald said that he wanted all the immigrants out of the country, right? But then yesterday I was watching on CNN about the gold card, where it's like, you can, if you're like a rich foreigner or immigrant, then it's like when you have a gold card, you can have like a permanent residency in a state where it's like you could just go back and forth. You're still an immigrant, but you're a billionaire. You have access to this gold card, so now you can do something.
Man, he got to deport his wife first before he deport any immigrant, man. Yeah. His wife ain't
everybody was about the Super Bowl, but they had no concern about, I'm not going to even say everybody, about this rich billionaire that's sitting up there making all these, talking about Elon Musk, everything that he's doing. So I was like, man, look.
Yeah, man. Get up out here with the foolishness.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you know what's a trip when it comes to this immigration thing? I was talking to this bishop one day. He's from Ecuador, and he was telling me about the immigration problem. And it was like, yeah, we got to get this under control. But I'm thinking, but you're an immigrant. You came when you were 15. You got your citizenship later, but you still came over as an immigrant. But then I told him, I'm like, you're talking about the southern border to Mexico.
This America,
but you got illegal immigrants.
There's a lot of immigrants over here.
Right, because you got illegal immigrants from Germany, from Canada, from Australia. All of them are still here, and they ain't coming through
Mhm.
Mexico. They coming
Nah.
through California. They coming through New York. They coming from
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But everybody focus on the Hispanic immigrants. But an immigrant is an immigrant no matter where he comes from. And if his
That's right.
paper, you got people who came on a student visa. The student visa
Right.
ran out and they still here. They are
Yep.
illegal immigrants.
Yep.
So you got to make up your mind. But you can't just say, well, this is one, but because his skin is white and he comes from Europe, well, he's not considered an immigrant. He is.
Yeah.
And he illegal. Uh,
Yeah.
I
it's
feel
just
That
that
offended.
part.
they got people's minds focused in one direction, but what's going on is in the other. Just like three-card Monte. Got to pay attention.
Not three card Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you about to say, Captain Hook?
And I said, I feel offended in everything that you just said about being an immigrant because since I was 8 years old, I'm here. But it's all good.
Yeah.
Man, you out of control. But hey, man, it's been another amazing show. We had a good conversation. We appreciate those who tuned in. Tell a friend to show your friends, share it with your partners,
Yeah.
and all that got some Peter Pan syndrome children at the house. So that's a great thing to do is so they can see what men look like speaking to them. You know, and for the men who in the household that can't say nothing to them women kids, pick up your vocabulary, get you some self development going, learn better
Oh, get them out.
communication skills, and find your own place, man. Get your
I
own place
was
because
gonna say
it's
that.
another. Yeah, it's a whole nother ball game. It's a whole nother bracket of women for men who got their own, and who can
Right.
maintain their own. It's another bracket of women for that, man. And I just feel like, I just know rather we gotta change. I don't feel that, but I know we gotta change that. Mr. Michael, what you
Yeah.
got for us, man? What's your ahas and what you got to take out on this one, man?
Wow. I guess my takeout is going to be in order to quit being Peter Pan, you got to just grow up. Make that move. Get back in your bed, wake up out of that sleep, and become a man. Start making decisions. Do your own
That was
thing.
a
Live your
song,
own
Mike.
life. Huh?
Mike, you had a song right there. Make that move right now, baby.
For real. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Mike said you gotta
But
make
that's
that
it,
move.
man.
All right, philosopher. I mean, Doc Captain Hook. Goddamn Captain
I
Hook,
got
man.
my pen ready. What we got?
You hear me?
Everything was great, but I want to say to you, evolve from being a Peter Pan to becoming a Pied Piper.
Wow.
With that being said,
Play that flute now?
yeah. But now, you want to pour into someone who will pour into you. Pour meaning provide, offer, uplift, and rebuild.
Wow.
That is, man. I like prolific.
Yep.
It's diabolical. But hey, man, I want y'all to realize this right here. As a man, he's gonna control what he sees. But a Peter Pan is gonna be controlled by what he sees. So don't be controlled by your environment, man. And y'all have a great evening. Let's go back and come back and do it next Wednesday at 8:30 on Facebook, on YouTube, on wherever, all platforms except Instagram. Instagram need to cut it out. Come on with it. All
Right.
right, y'all, man. Y'all have a great evening. We gonna do it next week, baby. Peace.
Peace. Great talk.